Hi everyone, let's talk about money today. If there's one thing the past year has taught us, it's the importance of having some money to rely on. When you get that paycheck at the end of the month, it's tempting to spend it all. At the end, you end up falling into the cycle of overspending on dumb things and never having enough money when it's actually needed. All of this just doesn't happen overnight. There are several little things you do to get there, and we're here to help you overcome them. In this video, we will be going over the 10 worst money mistakes anyone can make. Before we continue, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Let's begin. Number 1. Not having an emergency fund. If this past year has taught us anything, it's that you never know what tomorrow holds. A lot of people today are used to taking each day as it comes. This would have been okay in the 1950s, but it's definitely not okay today. An emergency fund is when you save up at least 3 to 6 months of your current salary and put it away just in case something happens. This could be anything from an injury, a break-in, you having to move, or now, literally a pandemic. If you have enough money saved up that can last you through around half a year, you don't have to live your life in fear of what's going to happen if something goes wrong. According to a recent survey, nearly 30% of people don't have any emergency savings at all. This money mistake could prove disastrous for a lot of people. Number 2. Having friends who are a bad influence. You are defined by the company you keep. This isn't just a saying our parents throw around when they don't like our friends. It's infamous because it's true. When you hang out with a specific group of people a lot, you start to pick up their way of doing things. If your friends are the sort that don't care about spending wisely and just blow through their money, you might end up doing the same thing without even realizing it. Add to that the fact that many people who are a bad influence will peer pressure you into doing something you don't want to do. This includes if you're trying to budget. Spend time with people that know the value of money, that work hard and respect your budget, not the ones that could lead you to being broke. Number 3. Not having the correct insurance. All the major things in life should be insured. It's the only way you'd ever have peace of mind. Otherwise, you would treat everything like a phone without a screen protector on, and that would make for a pretty exhausting life. Now, this doesn't mean that you can go sign up for the first insurance plan that you come by. This is a decision that you should spend a lot of time thinking over. Take a look at the different options. Is the basic coverage offered really suitable for you? Make sure that your insurance covers everything you might possibly need. Make sure to read the fine print and check in which cases your insurance plan may not cover you to figure out which plan is the perfect one for you. Not having the right coverage can be expensive if you ever need to make a claim. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. Number 4. Not saving. When you first start earning, it's tempting to just spend it all, even if you spread the spending out over the course of the entire month. But this is also something that will end up landing you in trouble at some point in your life. Saving money is the answer to several of the potential problems you might end up with and can't get out of without having some money to bail yourself out. This could be anything from a medical emergency to falling victim to a natural disaster, things that are totally out of your control, or anything that you bring upon yourself through a bad decision. According to a recent survey, only 28% of people save only 6 to 10% of their income a year. But that's not the scary part. 21% of people save absolutely nothing. That's nearly a quarter of all people with nothing that could help them out of an emergency. It is essential that you have a savings plan and that you stick to it, so the present you has future you's back at all times. Number 5. Not investing. Now that you've started saving, what do you do with all that money once you've built up your emergency fund? Investing. Investing can be a great way to multiply your savings or even set up a second stream of income. In a survey, people were asked if they had ever invested. 47% of them said they hadn't. That's nearly 50% of the participants. If the numbers correspond to the rest of the world, half of the population rely on their salary to make enough money for saving and all current and future expenses. What happens if you lose your job and that income suddenly disappears? Having an investment that grows your money for you can be a great way to end up with a lot more savings overall. Number 6. Spending too much. Some people, even if they have savings, can't control their spending. They keep chipping away at their savings a little at a time and at one point end up with a significant chunk of it gone. This doesn't just happen to a few people here and there. According to research, 52% of the people spend more than they earn every single month. This leads to many people thinking that they don't make enough money, when in reality, they're making enough. They're just spending too much of it. This doesn't mean that you can never have the things you want. You can, and you should. But instead of spending everything you have all at once, set money aside for 2 to 3 months and work up to buying what you want. Just because you want it doesn't mean you need to have it. Number 7. Having a lot of debt. A few decades ago, being in debt, even a little bit of it, was considered a huge problem. With how much the world has grown since then, somehow everyone has debt. It's become a problem everyone deals with, which makes it seem like it's okay. But it is not. Having debt is just another way one overspends. When you take on debt, you sign up not only to pay back the money you borrowed, but also the interest that comes with it. Debt can become a real problem if you do not have enough money to pay back the borrowed money and the interest. To keep up with the payments, people end up borrowing even more money and start a cycle of getting into more debt to get out of debt. This is a cycle that's hard to break. If you have debt, work on ways of paying it off without taking on more. If you don't have debt, manage your money in a way that you never have to take any on, ever. Number 8. Not maximizing your career. Your career is how you make money. This makes it one of your biggest assets, even if you don't see it at first. Everything you get to do in life is from your career. That is why you need to make sure you're doing the best you can at it. Just making slight adjustments and being more efficient in the way you work can multiply your overall income. Even if you're thinking of switching jobs, never do it unless you have another one lined up and ready to join. Never risk potentially being unemployed. Work better, take less days off, and you'll find that your money has doubled and tripled. On average, even if you're making 1% more than the ongoing average, you end up with millions more by the time you retire. That's millions that you're potentially wasting just because you're not maximizing your career. Number 9. Buying too big a house or fancy car. All of us have a dream house and car, but not all of us have the money to get that dream house or car. But many people end up getting them anyway and get stuck with hefty mortgage payments, even if it's thousands of pounds more than the annual income they earn. Even though you might think you'll figure it out or that the dream house or car is worth it, it's not. It's much wiser to buy the house or car you can afford. Sell it once it's paid off and work your way up to your dream. This way, you'll still end up with what you wanted at the end without having to risk bankruptcy. And number 10, not paying off your credit card each month. One of the biggest mistakes when it comes to money is not using a credit card properly. A lot of people end up buying too much just because they have a credit card, thinking that it would be fine because they can just pay it back when they get paid, which not only means that they would spend their money before they get it, off-balancing the rest of the month, they also land into short-term debt that can multiply very quickly. If you're even a day late while making your credit card payments, you end up paying the late fee, which will set you back even more than your purchase alone. Pay off the entire balance each month. Don't rack up the bill to the point that it would always be there. Keep your credit card away from everyday purchases and pay any remaining balance off at the end of the month. Don't just sit there and watch it grow. That 20-pound purchase can end up costing you hundreds of pounds if you start paying interest. That's a wrap for the 10 worst money mistakes anyone can make. Which one of these are you guilty of? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.